Greetings and welcome to the Sports Card Ripping Teacher. Last night I had a notification on my phone and it said that one Doogie's Dugout had a video. So a little bit later last night I went to my phone and I went to his page and this is what I saw at first. I was like, by gosh, is Brad going to get into the rib game? I do think that Brad probably makes a really mean rack of ribs, but no, he opened up a hobby box of Top Stadium Club, and it was a really good box. In my eyes, he had a Chicago Cub prospect autograph. He had a really good, Jared Young, he had a really good year in 2023 at Iowa. Unfortunately, the St. Louis Cardinals did claim him. I guess it's called minors, waivers, or whatever it is. So I only have one thing to say. He's probably going to turn out to be Lou Brock. We all know how that trade worked out for the Chicago Cubs. This wasn't a trade, but these are the way things go for Chicago sports teams. All right, class is in session. Today is January 25th. It's class 102, and it goes out to Chris Chelios. That's right, today is Chris Chelios' birthday, and he had quite a few really good seasons for the Chicago Blackhawks. He did play for the Detroit Red Wings as well, which is always, a real test of my allegiance of a player. A few years ago, maybe about 7 or 8 years ago, his nephew was in the 4th grade where I taught. I was telling about, I watched your uncle play hockey and everything. And Chris Chelios was actually the very first autograph that I got by myself. My dad and I went to a Hawks game. I had some cards with me. I had a Sharpie with me. And he was a Chicago police officer, so we did get to go back kind of by where the car area is, because one of his friends was like one of the heads of security. So one of the perks of being a cop, I guess. And I was like, man, there is Chris Chelios. And I was like, let's go get his autograph. And I was probably maybe, I want to say, I don't know, maybe it was probably 3rd or 4th grade. And my dad's like, well, you go over there and, introduce yourself and ask him. And I was a bumbling mess. I kind of sounded like the one farmer in Waterboy. And I handed him like the pen and everything. I was just so nervous. And I was like, hey, how you doing? Like, how'd you like the game and everything? And said, what are you going to do with this card? And I was like, oh. And he's like, are you going to sell it? And I was like, yeah. He kind of looked at me and I was like, no. Like you're, and I finally came to it saying, you're one of my favorite players. I enjoy watching you play. And I'd be thrilled to have your autograph. So I kind of came to there and he was kind of laughing. He probably knew that I was, pretty nervous going up there talking to him. And one of the other players I really wanted to get an autograph was Ed Belfour. And Ed Belfour was known kind of like a little bit like a partier as well. But sometimes he would stay late after games just to take some more practice. So like a really, really hard worker, work hard and play hard. So unfortunately, I did not get his autograph on that day. But, legend has it, I guess, don't know if it's true or not, but after some Hawks games, Eddie would be out there practicing and they're putting together the Bulls floor around him for the next game for the Bulls because they do share a stadium. All right, folks. So today goes out to Chris Chelios. If you remember way back the second day of school, Mason Crosby was our shout out for number 2 here. All right, here we go. Last 2 packs of this Walmart Mega Box. And a lot of times their theory is the Walmart ones do have the downtowns. And who thinks Jim Harbaugh going to the Chargers is going to kind of resurrect the career of Justin Herbert? There's a good chance of that. I feel like, just a new philosophy, a new guy in town and everything. DJ Moore, shout out to Zach and Porter. Hopefully everything's going well with that cleanup job. Get you guys rec room back here in golf season sooner rather than later, buddy. Ryan Tannehill, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. We have his autograph. We're now pulling for him. Hopefully he does well. Gridiron Kings, Ty Law. It's an old school player right there. Bryce Young. And Graham and I were talking about him the other day. C.J. Stroud kind of ruined it for everyone. Good for him, but it's so hard to be a quarterback in the National Football League. I mean, I can only imagine how hard it is. Jordan Love, people forgot he sat there for a couple of years and learned from Aaron Rodgers. Same thing. Aaron Rodgers, he sat there and he watched Brett Favre. And I feel like I was more salty about Aaron Rodgers playing because Brett Favre is my childhood hero. And with Jordan Love this year, I was like, good or bad, it's just time. Time to have a new guy around, but I'm glad that we do have Jordan Love, that's for sure. Paris Johnson Jr. and a kid reporter, which is expired. All right, last pack, downtown hunting. Tomorrow I'll kind of talk about my predictions for the games coming up this weekend. And I always hate when there's, those, it's the pressure, house money. I kind of talked about that. And all I've heard about is the pressure of these playoff games. So I'm going to tackle it from the opinion of who has all the pressure, or what kind of pressure does each team have coming up on Sunday. So feel free. Lucas Van Ness, I am high on him, that's for sure. Iowa knows how to produce their defensive football players. The champs are here. By gosh, will the Chiefs be the champs again? Jax seems to think so. He gave me that riddle the other day. My main man, Wildcat, thinks that they're going to be as well. Or I should probably say he knows that they are going to be. There's no thinking from what I have read here so far. So yeah, and then we got here Jayden Reed. I am super high on Jayden Reed, that's for sure. So I'm looking forward to his next season. And what do we have here? We have a Josh Jacobs on the Vortex. That is a really cool card. That is not a downtown. Class is dismissed.